Tim and I have been around. Tim's been around since the 90s. I've been actively trading for 12 or 13 years now. It is nuts out there. I mean, I think it's the greatest time to be getting into low price stocks. And we're going to talk about what's cool about technology and especially some of the communities out there. I think back, again, Tim had zero trading education communities and stuff like that. When I got started, it was very small. And right now, with the abundance of technology, all of these tools that we have, it is a great time to be getting into this space. And speaking of that, where's my co-host, Mr. Sykes? He's always late. I'm always waiting for him. I never know where he is. Hopefully he showed up. There he is, my friend. In the Las Vegas tradition, I think he just left the buffet. So cut him some slack. He's a big eater. He didn't make it from the buffet. And Tim, give a little bit of background. What got you started in penny stocks? Where did you begin? And why do you think this is a great niche?
I was a tennis player. I got injured, could not play tennis anymore, so I got into the stock market. My parents gave me control of my bar mitzvah money, $12,000. They thought I would lose it all.
So this is high school. This is high school, right?
High school,
yeah.
And I made about $100,000 senior year of high school, $700,000 freshman year in college, and then the Jewish money genes kicked in.
Now, let's go back to that beginning. How did you? I mean, this is mid-late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so contrary to what we have now with all these tools and the internet and educational stuff, I mean, how did you even know where to begin at that point? I mean, I'm guessing a lot of you are here because you're looking for, trading methodologies, trading strategies. I mean, how did you even know where to begin?
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I was an investor at first, and my account just wasn't really moving. I gravitated towards penny stocks because they were cheaper, and they moved my account. So I think you have to just go where the action is. And a lot of the time, you're just not going to see action. There's a lot of niches where you can study your ass off, and you're just not going to make that much money. I go to these conferences all the time, and I'm always laughing at like the people who love gold, and gold never really moves more than like 10, 20, maybe 30% per year, which is fine after leverage.
When the gold bugs go nuts, when gold moves like 1.5%.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, the low price stocks, it's just a hot niche, and I want to partake in that volatility. I don't care if the whole world hates on them. I'm kind of glad that the whole world hates on them because that makes it easier. The people that we compete against in the low price niche, just go outside to the people playing the penny slots. They're the exact same people. They don't really speak English. Maybe ESL students, maybe not even in school. A lot of illiterate people. A lot of people with big dreams, very little money, very little research skills. And so these small companies take advantage of their ignorance and usually just pillage them. And it's our job as teachers, and it's your job as traders to take advantage of the niche, for better or worse.
So, I mean, I think that's one of the greatest things I like about this, I mean, hey, you're out there, you're competing against the smartest of the smart. Harvard graduates, they're at Goldman Sachs. I mean, if you're trading Microsoft, or you're trading Apple, or you're trading any of these, widely traded instruments, you've got so much more competition, and that's what's the greatest thing about penny stocks. I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, you're dealing with the dumbest, laziest people in this niche because everybody's got a get-rich-quick mentality. They're not willing to put in that work, and that's your competition. That's who you're trading against.
Yeah, so I'm thankful for the lack of competition, but therein lies the opportunity. A lot of people say, if you know so much about trading, like you know how to get rich, why are you teaching? Because frankly, it makes my blood boil that there's so little good information. Most people who are in penny stocks, they go down with the ship, they believe in these companies, they don't look at the charts, they don't realize how bad the niche is, and so, for me, it's kind of fun to just be real. That's why I can ride around this little scooter and just be, have fun with this, because it's good to be real in an industry full of fakes. Be very careful when you're learning trading. Never forget, 90% of traders lose, and almost everybody who teaches trading is full of crap. There are a lot of snake oil salesmen. If you can, get rich trading, why are you teaching? For me, I teach because I was on a reality show, because I love it, because there's a big informational inefficiency, and because I make a lot of money teaching. I can be totally blunt about everything because that's my business.
So getting started, I mean, again, I guess we're here, talking about between the two trees here. So, between the one tree, my tree. So
We
anyway.
don't need gimmicks.
So, obviously we're here because we're penny stock guys. That's what we love. That's what we do. That's what we trade. That's what we teach. But how do you get started? I mean, how does someone maybe they've been, trading quote unquote real stocks or options or forex? How do I get started in penny stocks? Where do I begin?
Yeah, I mean, look for just any big mover. Any stock that's up 20, 30, 40%, under $5 a share is a penny stock. It doesn't have to be trading right at a penny. But just anything that's moving on volume, then you look at the company news, see why it's moving. If there's no news, it could just be, a pump and dump. It could be any number of things. I like to know the news. So I like to buy the stocks. It's called the first green day. When they're up 20, 30, 40, 50% in one day, they have big volume, ideally a breakout over previous highs, maybe introducing a new product, maybe a billionaire just invested. Every now and then a billionaire does invest in one of these companies. And when you have that first green day, oftentimes there's a second and a third and a fourth, because this niche is so hated. The vast majority of Wall Street ignores it, but when there's really good news, it spreads. So on day 2, day 3, day 4, you can actually get bigger spikes than when the news actually breaks. And that's very different than the rest of the stock market. If Cisco or Google or Amazon has amazing news, it's priced in within 20, 30 minutes because everyone's watching it. So that's the inefficiency.
Most of the time you'll see this unusual action before the news even hits. So that's because the news leaks. I mean, you're competing against the huge hedge funds and stuff. They have that informational advantage where that doesn't exist in penny stocks.
Yeah, I mean, I like the informational inefficiency, especially if you want like your first penny stock to buy. Look to buy on Fridays. Friday mornings, very special. There's usually a big spike. Everyone's heading into the weekend. They want like an extra little cash. So you have a lot of big Friday morning spikes. And Friday afternoon, if there's news, let's say if there's a big 20 or 30% mover after 2 p.m. Eastern, and there's some kind of news, a lot of people have already left for the day, and because penny stocks can spike bigger on day 2, day 3, day 4, that news spreads over the weekend, and you oftentimes have gap ups and spikes on Monday. So I'm looking for these informational inefficiencies.